But when you start wanting to settle down, you want a woman that can pray you out of a box. You want a woman that's going to stand beside you, cover you, hold you down, have that spiritual. She understands divine order. She appreciates submission. She wants a man that she can be led by and respect. I'm getting hot, family. I'm getting hot. Men do want that. They want it. I'm here to tell y'all, it is real. It is real. So here is my answer to this question. Should a man pursue a woman who's spiritually ahead of him? There's some things I have to say. There's some caveats here. All right. There's a yes and no answer. Okay. Let me just start there. This is not simple. It's not simple. Yes and no. Why you say, which one y'all want me to start with? Which one do y'all want me to start with? Yes or the no? You want me to start with the yes answer or the no answer? Because there's two parts to this answer. Let me see y'all in the chat. Yes, y'all want to start with the yeses? Okay, I'm seeing yeses. What? Yes. Should a man pursue a woman who's spiritually ahead of him? Let's start with the yeses. Thank you guys for the answering in the chat. Why? Okay. Number one, why you should is if she's led by conviction and not emotion. Here's the biggest thing about this spiritual walk. If somebody's actually walking the walk. Family, God will deal with you before you ever have to say a word to this woman. How do I know? Because I'm being dealt with. That means that there's levels of accountability. If she is walking the walk and she's walking the walk in a way that she's hearing God, God is going to deal with her as well for not honoring you. I'll be honest with you guys. God has given me a lot in this time, especially as it relates to my future. And he has given me very, very strong instructions. Okay. And when God gives you instructions, it's a little different because it's God. And when it's God, you better listen or else. So my point in saying this is, I lost my whole train of thought. My point in saying this is that God, when God is giving you instructions, or you're a woman where you hear God's voice, God gives you strong instructions. I've told you in the past that people have tried to manipulate me by saying, "Hey, you're my wife. God told me." I never felt that. That didn't resonate with me. And as you know, this is in my 20s, of course, earlier 20s. I felt very strongly that God was saying, no, this is not your spouse. Like I felt that. Okay. When God tells you something, or he tells somebody else something, it is going to resonate with you. There's not a word that somebody's going to say to you that isn't, you don't, some part of your spirit bears witness. What does that mean? It resonates. Okay. So when we hear prophetic words and people are saying different things, we have to be cognizant of that. People walk around a lot of times and say prophecies and prophecies and prophecies. Okay. It will resonate with you. God is not going to tell somebody else something you don't already somewhat know. Okay. There's something that in you is like, you know what? I know. Even it's conviction, I know. Okay. And as I've grown in this journey with God, family, if I'm being honest, I want to be corrected. I want to be corrected. I'm not going to lie. I'll ask. I have people in my life that keep me accountable, and I'll say, am I wrong? Am I believing this wrong? Is God telling, like, is God dealing with me? What is your spirit saying? And what they tell me, if it resonates with me, I know it's God. Even if it's something I don't want to know, but I don't want anything to stop me from being able to connect with my creator. Some of you guys have to understand this. As you walk this walk, obedience is paramount. If you do not listen to God, if you're like, you know, God is telling you something and you don't do it because you don't feel like it, or it don't make sense to you, or you don't want to be vulnerable, or you don't want to put yourself out there, or whatever the case may be, you have to understand something. You are getting in the way of God's ability to A, connect with you, and B, to shift your circumstance. You don't know why God is doing what he's doing or telling you to do what he's doing. right? So don't what they call quench the spirit. If God is leading you to do something, do it. Otherwise, he is going to bother you until you do. Oh, he's going, my pastor says, bother it. He's going to bother it. He's going to bother it. So the fact of the matter is, I think the benefit to a man pursuing a woman that is spiritually ahead in some ways is that she should be led by conviction and not emotion. This does not mean that she's a perfect woman. This means that she is a woman that holds herself accountable to God. That's powerful. That's beautiful. I've known some women, dynamic women, that, man, it's a beautiful thing when they hear in God. Because when I say something to them, and there's women that hold me accountable, and I hold women accountable. There's women that call me up and say, Sam, as a spiritual sister, I need your help in this area. And I will listen. And y'all, I don't hold back. I'm not one of those hold back type of women. I'm like, hey, no, you're deceived. Why am I talking so strong? Why do I talk so heavy? It's because I really believe that if you have called me and God put something on my spirit, I'm going to say it exactly how he tells me. Right? And these women, because they want to hear God, they listen. Right? So number 2 is that she's not easily impressed by titles, looks, or gifts. A woman that is swayed by the things of this world heavily, meaning that I will compromise if you got enough money, or I'll compromise if you got a big enough title, or I'll compromise if you've got worldly things that are impressive. I'll compromise in areas that are important because of what you materialistically have. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. God's way is not our way. In fact, David was a shepherd boy when he was called, right? So David wasn't, y'all know I say I love me some King David. All right, King David's one of my favorites. Joseph's one of my favorites. David was not, according to his own father, didn't look like a king. He didn't even bring him in the house. Okay, so God does not look at the outer appearance. He looks at the heart. And as a woman of God, yes, I don't think God is ever going to bring you somebody you're not attracted to. I think he's the God of attraction. I believe he's going to send you somebody you're attracted to. He might not be what you thought you would be with, but he's going to bring you what you're attracted to. I don't think the God of attraction is not going to, he created that. I don't think he's going to go against that. He's going to bring you what you like. I believe if we wait on God and we do it the right way, he's going to bring you somebody you like. Right. But with that being said, it's more about the heart posture. You could bring a lot of different people in my life, and they might have a lot of accolades that might be impressive to a lot of people. But if there's certain characteristics that aren't there, well, then that's that. Because if a relationship I am having is without God, then it's not a relationship worth having. That's how I feel. Been there, done that, wrote a book on it. No, that doesn't work. Number 3 is that she sets clear boundaries and sticks to them. That's very important. A woman that's not bending to the standards of holiness for chemistry or potential. That means that a woman is disciplined, family. That's important. A woman who is disciplined is important. I tell you guys this all the time. Big ups to the women that are disciplined. Big ups to the women that hold themselves accountable. Big ups to the women that are not swayed by materialistic things. Those are different. That's a different type of woman. That's a different quality of woman, right? And a lot of guys are overlooking this woman for women that will leave you as soon as something happens in your life. You want a rider. You want somebody that if the chips are down and the going gets tough, that woman's still by your side. Right? And a lot of guys are opting for what looks good right now, but won't be good around the corner. All right. And I believe God will send you what you like, but you've got to wait on him. He's not going to send you a daughter of God when you are not pursuing God yourself. He's not going to put her in your path if you are not at a place where you are abiding by him. And that's what's going to go into this. We're going to keep going with this. Okay. And number 4, if she submits to God before she'll ever submit to you, 100%. Number 5, she's spiritually mature enough to call you higher, not chase you down. Come on. Wow. She prays more than she posts. She corrects in love. She's focused on purpose, not just partnership. Come on now. You want a woman that's going to take you to the next level. Some of y'all are just dealing with women that accept you right where you are right now. No. I want a man that's going to push me. I want to be better. I don't want to stay the same. And that's what relationships are supposed to do. They're supposed to sanctify us. They're supposed to make us better. If we're going into relationships looking to not be challenged, we're doing it wrong. You want somebody that's equally trying to chase God the same way. Like, I want somebody in my life that's like, Sam, that's not right. You're not correct. Spiritually, you're out of alignment. Oh. Did God tell you that? Did God tell you that? Listen, let me tell y'all something. Let's be real. If I was to go on a date with a man and a man say he prayed and God told him this about me and it resonated and it was like, oh wait, hold on, that's true? Oh y'all, I don't know. If a man started, I don't know what I would do. I've never been in that position before in my life. I've never been with a man who could pray me down like that. I promise you, I probably ask him how many kids he wants. What? So you want 1 or 2? Now or later? I cracked myself up. Today or tomorrow? You're ready now? Okay. Don't worry about it. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Get you a man that can pray. Y'all, again, you don't have to pray like I pray. And we're going to get to this, y'all. I'm getting to the reasons why you should pursue a woman that's a little bit ahead of you. She's a mirror of what you could be if you surrender. Her walk with God exposes areas in you that are still wounded or immature. Her maturity is not a threat. It's a gift. It might be the blessing God sent to grow you, not shame you. Some of us are afraid of women that are ahead of y'all, but in all actuality, that might be what God is using to call you higher. Now, y'all, I know some men of God, some powerful men of God, and the reason why they're much further along than their wife at this point in time, but they started off a little bit behind her, but because of her walk, it made them grow tremendously into the powerhouses men that I have met. They're rebuking and binding demonic spirits up in here. Okay. They are fiery men of God. Tearing walls of Jericho down with their voices. I'm seeing it. These men did not start that way. They were connected to a woman that was chasing God. And when he saw that walk, he was inspired by it. There's men that have written hundreds of books because God was calling them. They met a woman of God. And they started moving like this. Because some of these men were not around people that had an active relationship with God. And so when they finally do see what that looks like, they start running. They're running up spiritual ranks like it's going out of style. She might have been here when you met her and you were right here. Let's say that. You start seeing her walk, you're like, oh, so that's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And now you're the spiritual head of household. This is my whole point, family. This is my whole point. I do not think that anybody has to be on the same exact level spiritually. In fact, I think it's impossible. for two people. You might be in the same ballpark, but we all have our unique relationship with God. And I think it's wrong when we sit here and try to judge somebody for where they are in Christ versus someone else. I think that it's very important for two people to be running together after God, not so much so that we're on the exact same page on the exact same book. Because at some point, whether you walk with anybody long enough, you'll know that there's going to be times where you're up and they're down, and they're up and you're down. And you have to be able to continue to walk together because we're both chasing after Christ. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.